Hello again, race fans from Dawsonville, Georgia, and Atlanta Motorsports Park. It's time for the AMP Summer Series weekend number 2. It's a beautiful, nearly cloudless day here in Dawsonville, Georgia. A little bit crisp, but it's going to get warmer, 46 degrees right now. And as we are looking at the track, we have the Spec Miatas, the Legends, and the E30s coming up to start their first race of the day. Let's look at our starting lineup. On the pole will be Kyle Haney. On the outside pole will be Raiden Nickel. And these guys put on a great race last month, and so we're looking forward to more of the same. Next up will be Jose Garcia, Keith Williamson, Ben Hobbs, Blake Fabiani, Bill Miller, Paul Denton, Bill Griffin, Anthony Goff, Bill Kring, Tyler Klein, Chris Hune, and Jerry Griffin. And alongside me, as usual, is our producer and color commentator, Will Rigdon. And William, what are we expecting today?
Well, we should see a lot of good side-by-side action here today. We've got the young gun, Raiden Nickel, riding up front. Should be still riding that high from last week, getting his first series victory here up at the main track. We were excited to witness that last month, and we are excited to see how he does again here today. Another driver to keep in mind is going to be Blake Fabiani this week. He was race number 1 winner last week, but suffered a DQ, and I know we were a little bit confused on air, folks, but if you were still wondering, just like I was, we did a little research, and it turns out he actually left his restrictor plate on top of the car before coming to the track, and so once he realized he was not under spec, he self-reported. And so he got the DQ after race number 1. So that's why he started in the back for race number 2 last month. He was able to get the problem fixed, and he is in spec today. That's why I talked to him before the race. So he is all up to spec. So hopefully no more DQs this week, and he should have a good, strong race. Although it looked like he was starting, I didn't catch where he was. It looked like the 5th or 6th spot, Bill. He's in the 7th. So he's got a little bit of a mountain to climb here if he wants to try and get a podium here. But
let me get a little closer. I was holding up 6 fingers. He's starting in the 6th position.
Oh, okay. That looked like you're making an L with the other hand.
Oh, I was holding my phone with the other hand. But anyway, here we come by for the finish the first of 2 pace laps. Next time around, we should be getting the green flag and get things underway here at Atlanta Motorsports Park. Again, it's a beautiful day, a little bit breezy up here, and the temperature keeps going up. We're at, 46 degrees. We should be somewhere around 50 once the sun gets all the way up, and it should be fairly comfortable. But it certainly beats rain, I know that. And we are watching the field come through the carousel, turn number 4. And we'll be underway very shortly. Looking forward to some great racing today. After this event, there will be the downforce cars will come for their first race as well. This will be a 20-minute race with the Spec Miatas and E30s. Spec E30s will be falling up there, mostly Miatas.
Doesn't look like we have any Spec E30s actually.
I was going to say,
I'm looking at that.
I don't see any E30s, and I don't see any Legends out there either. So this should be fairly easy to call class-wise.
Well, I saw Chris Hunt on the list, but it does not look doesn't look like he is out there in an E30. So that might be an error in our scoring app here. But if you guys are watching trackside or watching from home, you can always go to www.racemonitor.com to pull up the live scoring feed from today's races. And we are getting the AMP Skycam back up into the sky right now as the field goes around the backside of the track.
Let's keep it out of the trees this week.
And so you should see the field as they slowly make their way around. The pace car will be coming off the track here momentarily as we should get ready to go green here, folks. And for those of y'all that did not know, we had a slight mishap with the AMP Skycam last week. Fortunately, we have 2 of them. So y'all at home did not notice the mistake, but here comes the field.
And we do notice the field coming down to the start-finish line. Green flag is out, and we are underway. Your outside pole sitter, Raiden Nickel, takes the early lead heading into one, but Haney will have the inside line, and he will have the lead coming out of that tight turn number one. Nickel will be second. We have a battle for third. Garcia and Williamson as they battle into turn number four now. Again, that one modeled after the carousel. And here we come out of four into that slight bend that is 5, and then that tight turn number 6.
And it's all about positioning here, Bill, as they dive into turn 6. It's a late braking turn, and you want to turn in late as well, because that turn is over 90 degrees, and if you turn in too soon, you're not going to set up the proper line, and it's going to kill you, especially with these Miatas needing the momentum coming out of 6.
And as the field is tightly bunched heading over the hill and out of our sight, we'll go back to the
AMP Skycam.
Yes.
As you see the field here coming up through turns 10, 11, and 12, they are currently cresting the hill there, all 98 feet of it, as they're diving through 12 into 13 onto that back double sweeper. You can see your race leader, Kyle Haney, still holding out about a 2-car lead over the second place of Raiden Nickel. And as the field makes their way through turns 14 and 15, they should be coming back into view here momentarily.
Now bear in mind, though, that our lineups are at the start-finish line, what you see on your screen. So Kyle Haney will be listed as your leader this time by. He was the pole sitter, but Raiden was a little ahead at the start-finish line, so he showed as the leader that last lap. But in fact, it was Kyle Haney for the bulk of that lap, and he still leads as they come out of turn number 1 through 2 and 3 and back into 4. So it'll be Kyle Haney, Raiden Nickel, Keith Williamson, and Jose Garcia, your front 4, broken away from the rest of the field.
And that looks like Jose Garcia actually in the second place right now. Raiden Nickel currently running 3rd with Williamson in 4th. As the number 517 of Ben Hops makes the pass on Blake Fabiani coming out of turn 6. Your field heading through the backside of the track right now through turns 6, 7, and 8. You see them coming on the lower part of your, or the upper part of your screen right now, coming up that back hill into turn 12. Kyle Haney still in the lead. And they go 1, 2, 3, 4 through turns 13 into that big double sweeper that is turn 14. You'll see them. They got to hit that apex twice to successfully make it through this turn. And it looks like Jose Garcia is giving a little bit of the chrome horn there to Kyle Haney as they come through 16.
And we'll come back down to the line. So looking at now, Haney and Garcia, now your lead 2. Nickel still back in 3rd, Keith Williamson 4th. That's your 1, 2, 3, and 4 as they race out of 1 into 2 and 3.
And it scored Jose Garcia as the leader that time by, but Haney with position was able to get back in front of him through turn 1, leads the pack through turn 4.
Further back in the field, Jerry Griffin able to advance position, and he'll move back into, I believe, somewhere around 11th place or so as the leaders come out of turn number 6. Haney, Garcia, Nickel, and Williamson. Hobbs and Fabiani duking it out. Meanwhile, Griffin falling back behind Anthony Goff for 11th and 12th place there.
And as you can see on the AMP Skycam right now, your leaders heading through turns 12 and 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, all on the line coming through turns 14. And you can see Fabiani there trying to make the pass, although not able to do it. Tucks back in.
Will he have something for our leader, Kyle Haney, at the start-finish line? Not yet, but look who's pressing him is Raiden Nickel right on the bumper of Fabiani, while Williamson looking to take advantage, dives to the inside. And they head through one cleanly, but there was some excitement there.
Well, we missed a lead change there, Bill, because it looks like Haney was able to get back out in front of Jose Garcia. I think we missed it in that dead spot there during 15 and 16. But he is your race leader right now.
So Williamson has gotten around Nickel also through one. So we've had changes in first and second and third and fourth. Quite a lot of action so far, and we're only 5.5 minutes into this 20-minute event.
If you're following the race ticker at home, it's not going to update till they come back by the start finish. As your leaders head to the back side of the track, we'll go to the AMP Skycam. They are still bunched up as they come up the hill through turn 12. Diving into 13. Let's see if they can make something happen here in this double sweeper on 14. And it looks like Haney's going to maintain his lead with Jose Garcia right on his tail. Raiden Nickel making a little bit of a run at it right now. Let's see what happens as they come through 15.
Less than a second from first to fourth so far. Things are just getting tighter here.
And Nickel just cut that 3-car gap down to about nothing as he goes to make the pass here. He's got position going into turn one. Let's see if he can do it.
They are 3 wide going through one. Not advisable, but they make it.
And Raiden Nickel with position going into the 2-3 complex. Let's see if he can hang on it through the carousel. And
actually, that's Williamson on the inside there, Nickel in fourth. But Williamson looking to the inside of Garcia. Meanwhile, Haney taking advantage of that slicing and dicing in the back. Now here comes Raiden Nickel to the inside of Williamson. Will he have position coming out of 6? Yes, he will. Although Williamson has a little momentum, we'll see as they cross over the hill and out of sight. We'll check it on the AMP Skycam.
And Ben Hobbs has managed to pull a little bit of a lead over Blake Fabiani. Let's see how this one plays out. We've got about 13 minutes left in this contest. And it looks like we might have had a lead change on the backside of the track, folks.
They need to do us the courtesy of doing all these lead changes in sight where we can see them, but
well, we're having a little bit of difficulties there with the Skycam, so we're back up on the main building while we get that sorted out. You should see your leaders here coming into frame momentarily.
Here they come. Kyle Haney with a nice lead so far over Jose Garcia, and then you have Williamson and Nickel. It's now a 7/10 lead, 7.75, 3/4 of a second lead for Haney over Garcia. And then back another 2 3/4 to Keith Williamson. Raiden Nickel right on his backside there as your top 4 go into the carousel. Meanwhile, Ben Hobbs opened a little bit of a gap, but it looks like Blake Fabiani, it'll have nothing of that as he's trying to close back in. Tightens it up on 4, coming through 5. We'll see if he uses his brakes. Here coming into 6, closes it up to maybe 2.5 car lengths as we come out of 6 and over the hill. A little bit of tire smoke. Coming out of Paul Denton coming through 6. Followed by Bill Kring, and then here it comes, gets a little bit of sideways there, is Bill Griffin. And then that battle that we've been watching the whole time between Jerry Griffin and Anthony Goff. So there's action all over the track today, Will.
Yes, sir. And as our leaders come through 14 here on the AMP Skycam, you can see Raiden Nickel trying to make a run at Williamson right now. As they come back through 15, 16 onto the main stretch.
Down to the line, let's get an interval between Kyle Haney and Jose Garcia. That is down to 0.3 of a second. Meanwhile, Raiden Nickel looking to the outside of Keith Williamson for third place. Nothing doing there, but he is within a car length of third place now, as we're going to have we do have three good battles, first and second, third and fourth, fifth and sixth here in the first race here in the Spec Miata class at Atlanta Motorsports Park, week in number 2 of the summer series. Griffin and Guff still going at it back there for 12th and 11th and 12th place. And coming to the outside is Guff. Griffin falls back into 12th place. And it seems like everybody's got a partner to race with pretty much in this, maybe about 4 cars spaced out from 8th to 10th.
And you can see your leaders coming up the backside of the track right now. Jose Garcia all over that bumper of Kyle Haney. Williamson and Nichols still battling it out. Fabiani and Hobbs as well there in 5th and 6th spot. As the field makes their way through 14 into 15 into that Eau Rouge turn.
And here we come out of 16, coming down to the line, looking like Garcia thinking about setting up. Haney going into 1, looks to the inside. Oh, out of control, off into the gravel pit goes your leader, Kyle Haney. And it looks like Jose Garcia got done what he wanted to do, pressured Haney into a mistake. And so Haney will fall all the way back to 6th place as Blake Fabiani gets past him. We'll see if he's able to make up any or all of this ground in the remaining, say, 8 minutes of this race here. But oh, mercy. Jose Garcia was looking, but then we saw the brakes lock up on Kyle Haney, and it cost him several positions. Meanwhile, second and third will be Williamson and Nickel. Hobbs looks like he has 4th place all to himself, and we have a battle shaping up now between Blake Fabiani and Jose Garcia, Kyle Haney.
And Garcia is going to enjoy that mistake as he is all by himself up at the front right now. As Williamson and Nichols still battle it out for the 2nd and 3rd position. If they're not careful, Jose is going to get away from the field. So I know he's happy with them fighting it out there behind him. He's going to enjoy the clean air up front. And you can see Hobbs all by himself there in the 4th spot. And Kyle Haney making the pass right now on Blake Fabiani as they come through 14. As your leaders cross the line.
Williamson able to open up a little bit of a gap between Raiden Nickel, but he could just be biding his time as we come towards 7 minutes to go here in this race. As we've seen Raiden Nickel with that youthful aggression, use it to his benefit. Meanwhile, back in 5th and 6th, Kyle Haney able to recover one of those positions as he gets around Blake Fabiani. Now are Williamson and Nickel closing in on your leader, Jose Garcia. It looks like a little bit, although Williamson still has maybe 3 or 4 car lengths on Nickel. If they can hold off from battling amongst themselves, they might be able to make a little ground on Garcia.
There are your top 3 coming up the back hill right now, going through 12 and 13. Haney, Williamson, and Nickel.
Meanwhile, Jerry Griffin and Anthony Guff are still nose to tail back there battling for 11th position, and looks like Griffin going to stick his nose underneath. He'll be alongside coming out of turn number 6. They're side by side coming back up the hill into 7, but it looks like Guff's going to be able to pull him coming over the hill and out of sight here as your leaders come down to the line. And let's get an interval here for Jose Garcia, up 0.8 of a second over Keith Williamson. And then another 0.3 back to Raiden Nickel. Although from an eyeball standpoint, it still looks like they're just tightening up. In certain parts of the track, it looks like Williamson and Nickel are able to pull him, but overall, he seems to be maintaining a reasonably comfortable lead. And then as I say that, they tighten up going into 6, and then he pulls them coming out of 6.
We're sorry for the scoring at home, folks. We're going to try and get this resolved real quick. Might have had the wrong race open up here. Going to try and get this back on your screen for you.
Meanwhile, looking towards the 11th position battle. Still the same here, but it hasn't. Nobody's been able to put any gap in between Griffin and Guff as they come racing out of turn number 6 and over the hill to the line, and looks like Raiden Nickel looks to the outside of Keith Williamson. Nothing doing there yet, but he's trying to find a place. He may have let his brakes and his tires cool a little bit. Now he's ready to go after it again, as we are down to about 3.5 minutes almost left in this race. And Raiden Nichols right on the bumper of Keith Williamson. As we watch him coming out of turn number 6. Leader still Garcia, followed by Williamson and Nickel. But I see what you mean, Will. I'm not getting any updates here on anybody.
Yeah, the broadcast, if you're going off the score sheet at home, folks, that is not right. It is showing Raiden Nichols in the lead, but currently Jose Garcia is in the front spot, so don't be confused by that. Go off of our play calls, not what you see on your screen.
And take that with a grain of salt as well, because the things are changing so quickly, and on the backside of the track, it's hard to keep up with this sometimes, but that's what's great about racing, is all the action that you see all over the track here. Speaking of action all over the track, it looks like Jerry Griffin has finally gotten around Anthony Guff and has opened up what looks like a 5 or 6 car length lead as we come to the line, and they're looking fairly evenly spaced. 1, 2, and 3 now.
We've got just over 2 minutes to go in this contest, Bill, so this will probably be our second to last lap. Should see the white flag coming out next time by. And we still have a pretty tight race here for the lead. 1, 2, 3 right now between Jose Garcia, Keith Williamson, and Raiden Nickel as they head up through the carousel.
Kyle Haney making up ground, but don't know that he'll have enough time. He might pose a challenge for Ben Hobbs with a lap and a half to go, or a little more than a lap and a half to go here. They should be getting the white flag the next time by, as our flagman, yes, in fact, picks up the white flag. And look at Jerry Griffin. Once he got around Anthony Guff, he was able to check out and go, so good for him there. So he's securely in 11th place right now. And we'll see our leaders come out of 16 any moment now to take the white flag.
And you can see them in turn 14 right now on the AMP Sky Cam. Jose Garcia still with a commanding lead right now, although Raiden Nickel trying to get a little bit of a run on Keith Williamson as they come through 15. And you can see him there at the top of your screen.
And here we come down to the line. White flag for Garcia. Keith Williamson second, looking to the inside. Is this the place where he wants to make the move? Gets a fender inside, but that's about all he's able to do as Garcia pulls him coming out of turn 1 rather, going into 2. But Williamson closing in, and of course there is Raiden Nickel waiting for his opportunity. One more lap to go as 1, 2, 3 right now. And it looks like Garcia is able to pull them a little bit coming into 4. So he has 3 or 4 car lengths going into turn number 6. It closes down, then accordions back out as they head out of 6 over the hill. Williamson able to close it a little bit as they head up over the hill and out of sight. Meanwhile, we're looking at Kyle Haney closing back in on Ben Hobbs, who may have a change in position there when we see them coming out of the final turn next time around.
And you can see them, that second group on your screen right now. You see the 1, 2, 3 right now, your front runners. And then right behind them, you see Hobbs and Haney going at it. And here come your leaders through 14. Jose Garcia still out in front. Can Raiden Nichols get the run here on Williamson, try and get himself a second spot here? Let's see as they come through 15. They're about to come into view here.
And coming out of 16, your winner is going to be Jose Garcia, and Keith Williamson will hang on. Third place will be Raiden Nichols. Hobbs holds on to 5th place, and your 6th place finisher will be Kyle Haney. Excuse me, 5th will be Haney. 4th would have been Hobbs. Then here comes Blake Fabiani, your 6th place finisher. That was exhausting, Will, for various reasons, but that was a lot of action going on. We had some great racing, some strategy, some positioning, and some mistakes that resulted in the outcome of this race.
Well, these Miatas are always fun to watch, Bill. You can throw them pretty hard to the turns. They're very much momentum cars, so any little mistake will play out big when you go into those acceleration zones. So it's always fun to watch, and especially here at Atlanta Motorsports Park. Turn 1, it comes up on you fast and quick, Bill, and it's a downhill 90-degree turn at the fastest point on the track, so you're full brakes doing about 105 miles an hour. And so strategy does play out well for these guys over the course of a 20-minute sprint race, whether or not they try and cook it hard and go for position early or try and be more conservative and save it for later in the race. Always sets up some good strategy and some fun battles to watch play out.
All right, so that was a good start for our day. Next up, we'll have our downforce cars come out. And we see 4 of them out there gridded up right now. There should be a 5th one coming out, so we'll have a pretty good field for our next race.
We're going to go on a quick break, folks. We will be back with you here momentarily once the grid gets out on track. So don't turn that dial. We'll be back with you momentarily.
Back with you again at Atlanta Motorsports Park, weekend number 2 of the summer series here, getting ready for the downforce cars to go underway. They're on their first pace lap right now. And we'll get you some names and numbers here in a second as soon as our scoring comes up.
And that will be on race control to get the scoring loop fired up here. So let's see what happens. We did find out what we were doing wrong, folks. So the last session, there's a couple errors on both sides, but it was started as a qualifying session and they restarted it as a race. So on our scoring app, it was showing the fastest time and not the current leader. So that's why it was showing Raiden Nickel for most of the race as your leader. But we have that issue resolved, so we should see it as they pass the line this time by.
I prefer to blame the technology rather than ourselves, but now you've gone ahead and let everybody know we messed up. But we've got it right this time. As your pole sitter, be number 57, Barry Davison.
We are clear and balanced, or fair and balanced, and transparent up here in the booth.
Yeah, so you say. Anyway, a pole sitter, Barry Davison. Outside pole be John Bruneau, followed by Corey Bobo in that Dukes of Hazzard tribute vehicle, and Everett Dixon and Andrew Nagy. Looking forward to this. It should be a good one here.
And this will be fun to watch because Nagy and Dixon, as I was told before the race, are both recent graduates of the Primal Racing School, so this is going to be their first race with us. I believe this is Andrew Nagy's first race ever after completing the school. And it looks like we've got John Bruneau is going to be in the field today. He is one of the instructors for Radical. We've got Corey Bobo out there, relative newcomer for us, got his car last year, did some races with us last season. We saw him out here last month, and so we will see how he does again here today.
As we come by to complete the first lap, next time around we'll be getting the green flag, and so we've got a couple of Primal Racing School graduates. Will, tell us more about Primal Racing School.
Well, if you're looking to get your racing license, Bill, we have a full 3-day racing school up here at Atlanta Motorsports Park. It is through Primal Racing. You can visit them at www.primalracing.com. And when you take that full 3-day racing school, Bill, you actually get the opportunity to earn your accreditation for a full-fledged competition racing license. And that's what some of these drivers are out here today doing, because after you get that license, you're on a provisional until you can compete in 2 race events. And you have a year to do that, and once you get those races complete, you will actually have a novice competition racing license, and that gets you what you need to travel, go to other tracks, compete in other racing series, and you can all do that here at Atlanta Motorsports Park with the Primal Racing School.
And what is that website?
www.primalracing.com.
Now I can go. You got to give.
And they do it. And they do it all. They don't just do the racing schools. So if you're looking to buy a Radical, if you're looking to have a car serviced, they do everything. They got a speed shop, Primal Performance. They've got a showroom, Primal Cars, and they've got the school, Primal Racing.
All right. So we've got actually Corey Bobo sitting in the front of the field right now. Make sure.
I heard some chatter prior to the race that I believe Davison wanted to start in the back, so we will see how this plays out here when they come by and this one gets scored. And we got some fresh batteries here in the AMP Sky Cam, so we should get all the action here as they go diving into turn 1 on this opening lap.
That's always an exciting moment, that first lap, that first turn of the first lap.
And we should see our pace car
pulling onto pit road. And we are looking at.
Kind of hard to tell. Let's see if we cut back to the camera with the zoom lens on it. See if we can see what's going on.
And we're still waiting for racing action to come out of 16 here at Atlanta Motorsports Park. Let's check the temperature while we've got a moment. And we are still hanging around at 46 degrees, but it's getting a little more comfortable as we get more sunshine here. And we're warming up, and the pace car is off field, coming down to the start-finish line. Starter, hold it down. Green flag is out. And we are underway as Barry Davison rockets into second place as your leader, Corey Bobo, will maintain that position going into turn number 1. So we have stretched out single file coming out of 1, going into 2 and 3. Getting ready for turn number 4.
Oh, we got a spin there, Bill, up in the carousel.
Yep. Let's get a view on who that is. As I pull the old binoculars out, the old eyes don't serve me as well. That was Barry Davison, your third place starter. Trying to get her back underway. Let's keep an eye on him. As Bobo has opened up a pretty good lead, and Davison's got it underway, so he didn't break anything in that spin. That's always been the concern. If you roll those things backwards when they spin out, you can very well tear up your starter motor.
And we are taking that long trip with the AMP Skycam from turn 1 back to 14, so we're not going to catch this first one as they go through the backside of the track. But we should be set up and ready to go once they make their way back around again. It looked like Corey Bobo has already made his way through 14. Probably we'll see him here momentarily on the front stretch.
We'll get you a differential when they come to the line here. And here comes your leader, Corey Bobo, in that S3 Radical. Hits the line. Second place will be John Bruneau. Difference of only a second and a half, as third place will be Everett Dixon. He'll be another 4 seconds behind second place.
And this will be a fun battle here, Bill, between Bruneau and Bobo. Bobo in that SR3 has a little bit of an advantage over Bruneau in that SR1. But Bruneau, as we said before the race, he is an instructor with the Primal Racing School, so this is really going to be a student versus master situation here, and we're going to see how this plays out as they go in turn 6.
Yep, machine versus experience. And it looks like Bruneau is closing in. But Bobo, see if he can use that mechanical advantage to his advantage.
And as we see the number 74 of Everett Dixon go out of view into turn 8. He is comfortably in the third spot right now. As you should see your race leaders, Corey Bobo and John Bruneau, going through the 12-13 complex here into the big double sweeper that is turn 14.
So as we came to the line, Corey Bobo was your leader, John Bruneau second, Everett Dixon third, followed by Andrew Nagy, and bringing up the rear will be Barry Davison after that bit of misfortune going into the carousel. And here we come to the line. Right at the line, John Bruneau will be your new leader as he gets around Corey Bobo. Again, Bruneau's in that SR1, Bobo in that SR3, and Davison in fifth is also in the SR3. Everyone else is in SR1.
And as you can see, the rest of your field spread out a little bit there on the backside of the track as we watch your leaders go through the carousel right now.
So the lead change coming about 3 minutes into this event. We have a little less than 17 to go in this first race of the downforce class today.
And as you see your leaders disappearing over turn 7. Let's see if we can pick them up on the AMP Skycam. Should be able to pick out that orange SR3 of Corey Bobo as they come through turn 12.
There's something to be said for orange cars from a broadcasting standpoint.
And John Bruneau putting a little bit of space between him and Bobo. Looks like he's already extended that lead to about 10 car lengths as they make their way through turns 14. And the rest of the field has just now cleared turn 7, so you should see them entering your screen as your leaders are now exiting the screen.
And Bruneau, your leader, has opened up a 2.125. Second advantage over second place Corey Bobo. As Dixon comes to the line for third, he's back 15.5 seconds from your leader. So it looks like it's come down to a 2-car race. Although Bruneau seems to be stretching it out as well. As your leaders come out of turn number 6 and head up the hill And
you can see Bruno extending that lead up the back hill into 12 and 13.
There comes Davison. Did I misplace someone here? We'll find out next time by. I've only counted 4 cars, but I probably just missed one. Here we go. I knew I was wondering where Nagy was, and here he comes, coming into 6. As your leader comes to the line, that would be John Bruno. Let's see, 3.422 is the gap now between first and second.
And it looks like John Bruno running about 1.3 seconds faster that last lap than Corey Bobo.
Although that was Corey's fastest lap. This last lap, he ran a 1:23.6. Although the last lap for Bruno, not his fastest, but it was a 1:22.3. So, yeah, you're right, around 3/10.
Well, all 4 of our drivers, other than John Bruno, ran their fastest laps that last time by. So they are getting better with each pass. Like we were saying, almost all these guys are recent graduates of the Primal Racing School.
And here we are at the line again with John Bruno, your leader. We are 6.5 minutes into this 20-minute event. The first race of the downforce class here in the weekend number 2 of the AMP Summer Series here in Atlanta Motorsports Park.
And it looks like we had a little bit of a pass there back in turn 1. We kind of missed it following the action up front. But Barry Davison managed to get around Everett Dixon, so we will see this scored this time by at the line.
Your leader, Bruno, coming by, followed by Bobo, and 3.8. So pretty true to that 0.3 of a second gap their last lap, and that was Bobo's fastest lap again. He seems to be getting faster and faster.
And that was actually the fastest lap of the race, Bill. So if Bruno's not careful, we might have somebody trying to come up from the back here to challenge him for the lead.
No, Bruno's last lap was 1:22.3, and Bobo was 1:22.8, so I don't know. I think Bruno still got the advantage on him. Again, more experience. You know how to take this track. If you've run it as many times as Bruno has, you should know your way around it. And let's check on the positions further back as we're looking at our 3rd place runner coming into turn number 6 now. That'd be Barry Davison.
Well, one of the nice things about this track, Bill, is it is so technical and it is so hard to master that even as an instructor, and you can talk to the guys over at the Primal Racing School, there's always something to learn every time you drive this track. No matter how long you've been driving it or how long you've been driving, period, this is a great track to learn on. And that's why the Primal Racing School does such a good job of getting new drivers or returning drivers back in compliance for their competition license.
So meanwhile, your leader, John Bruno, closing in on Andrew Nagy now. Nagy is about 47 seconds behind, so your leader won't be too much further away from catching up with him as we go. His fastest lap, actually Nagy just turned his fastest lap. That was a 1:34.9. So nothing like a little pressure to make you push it a little bit harder. 4.3 between first and second at the moment, or at least at the line. 3rd place runner Barry Davison was 19, almost 20 seconds back at the start-finish line.
Bruno cresting that hill right as Corey Bobo enters it on the back side of the track. White little speck there in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen right now as Bruno makes his way through 14. If you've never been out on this track in a Radical, it's quite the experience because when we're going through that back side of the track, you are pretty much flat out, and the extra downforce you get from these cars keep them planted as you're going through that Eau Rouge turn. It is a deceptively difficult turn because you are going through a turn and cresting a hill at the same time. Very reminiscent of the Eau Rouge turn at Spa-Francorchamps over there in Belgium, Bill. It is one of our signature turns here and really fun to take in these downforce cars.
One of those tracks that we ran in the E-Series too, by the way, was Spa.
I know we have a couple of our drivers down in the paddock from the E-Series. Don't know if they can hear me or not. But we will be coming back with that here. I don't have a date set quite yet. We are still in the process of getting that organized, although we have plenty of actual racing to keep us entertained here, Bill. As you know, we started that E-Series last season when everybody shut down for COVID, and it was a pretty big success, so we kept it running even when we fired back up with the real racing. And if you want more information on that, you can always check us out online. You can go to www.atlantamotorsportspark.com or look us up on Discord, the Atlanta Motorsports Park. We have a community server. Just hop on there. We run every Monday and Friday night. We do community nights, and then once the series gets going, we run those on Tuesday or on Wednesdays, I should say.
And while we were talking about the E-Series, Bruno and Bobo managed to put a lap on Andrew Nagy. So he's going a lap down. The gap between Bruno and Bobo, first and second, stabilizing somewhere around 4.5 seconds, 4.6 this time around.
Although Bobo is still a 1.5 seconds off the pace of John Bruno, so that is going to be a hard mountain to climb here with only about 8 minutes to go in the contest.
Still within sight, though.
Well, as we saw in lap number 1, anything can happen, Bill. Push it a little too hard in that carousel, the back end will come around. Break a little too late in 1, the same thing.
And we've seen that happen to experienced drivers in turn 1 in the Spec Miata series as well. The leader taking it too hard going into 1, so it can happen. Anything can happen here, especially in the last 7 minutes, 7.5 minutes to go here in this first round, this first race of the second round in the downforce class here at Atlanta Motorsports Park.
And points count from both these races, Bill, so they aren't just racing for position for race number 2. We score both races here at Atlanta Motorsports Park, so the winner from race 1 and the winner from race 2 will both get points. It does, however, set the grid. The winner from race 1, the finishing order will set the grid for race number 2. So it's not a matter of, well, I don't have good position, I'll just see it out and shoot for the next one. They got to race each race, Bill, because if they don't, they'll get behind in the points. And it is a 8-month season. We run 8 of these every month for the Summer Championship Series, and points do matter. And these drivers are out racing for as much as they can get.
And look at this, Corey Bobo turns his best lap, and in fact, he was 5 to 6 tenths better than John Bruno on that last lap, and has closed the gap down to about 4 seconds. Took off 3/4 tenths. So has Bruno found something? Excuse me, has Bobo found something? Is Bruno conserving a little bit? We will soon see, as we have 6.5 minutes to go here in this first race in the downforce series here at Atlanta Motorsports Park. 20 minutes race overall.
See your leader coming through 15 right now at the top of your screen.
Down to the line, let's get an interval. Back to 3.7, well, just as quickly as he gains it, he gives it back.
And Corey Bobo finding some time there, down under a 122. He is shortening that gap here on John Bruno right now. Although we're going to see he's only got 6 minutes to do it. We'll see if he's got enough race left.
He looks like he's picking up 3/10 a lap thereabouts. I was reading that 3 is a 4 for some reason, but he actually gained another 3/10. It's 3.7, as you see on your screen. A little squirrely coming out of 6 there, so he's really pressing it.
Well, he's also pressing it. He went 4 off there. We'll see how race control scores that. But if he does that again next time by, that'll probably be a flag. So these drivers, they can only go 2 off there coming out of 6. We follow SCCA rules as far as going off track when it comes to a runoff area. As y'all can see on screen, we've extended the rumble strips there at turn 6. When this track was originally built, those were not there. They added that runoff space. But like I said, we still follow those SCCA rules. So If they go all 4 tires off, that will be a penalty, Bill.
We have a car stopped in 16. Do we see that?
And it looks like we have.
Oh, that was your leader, because here comes Corey Bobo is now the leader, Bruno.
I don't know if he gave it a little too much juice, if that's a fuel problem or.
And then comes Barry Davison. Something's happened to Bruno. And I guess it's the curse of the announcers talking about him, about how well he was doing. But something was eating away at his times, and now he's stopped.
Yeah,
now, are we throwing a.
We'll see if they throw a local yellow out there. We can see him on the sky cam. But let's see, he is kind of in a little bit of a precarious spot, although he is offline, so shouldn't be in too much of harm's way. Although anytime you're stopped on a hot track, that's not.
No, you never want to be. Yeah, he's to the inside, so momentum would take you to the outside. Looks like he's just going to have to. They got to get somebody out there to help him if he can't get it moved off the track.
And we can see them waving the flag there at the top of 12, so they are warning the drivers as they come through.
And just like that, your leader is now Corey Bobo with.
And it looks like
3.5 minutes to go.
A full course yellow right now.
Yellow is out.
So pace car is making his way back onto the grid. So I guess we're going to have to send Red Rescue out there to give John Bruno a pickup.
Once they get there, it's not a long trip to pit road, but it's unfortunate. They had some exciting battle starting to build up there towards the end. We're under 3 minutes to go here. And we are under yellow here at Atlanta Motorsports Park.
Well, this will be interesting to see here, Bill, because we've got 3 minutes to go in this contest, so this might be a green-white checkered flag here once we get gridded back up and they get Bruno recovered off the backside of the track.
And so the pace car has picked up the first 2 leaders. That'll be Bobo and Davison. Dixon just coming by the start-finish line, so he'll get to make up all that time. Nagy, on the other hand, is going to be is her lap down, I believe. So let's see. Have they gotten to him yet? I'm not in a position to look at that camera.
Let's go back and see here. We were on the roof cam, back to the sky
now
cam.
They've just got to him, as you see.
And you can see Red Rescue pulling up to him as we speak. Couldn't tell if there was a spin or anything. We just looked on the screen and he was stopped there. That yellow flag is still out as our start-finish line worker, Nicole Bennett, is out there doing a great job here today. And as we wait here, folks, you can see in the top side of your screen, we do have a go-kart track here at Atlanta Motorsports Park. So if you are tuning in from home and you are feeling the need for speed, we do open today at 1 o'clock for public karting. You can go visit www.ampkartracing.com. We highly suggest that you book online before making the trip out here to Dawsonville. That will lock in your time and guarantee a spot out on track. But if you'd like the chance to come out here on this beautiful Saturday afternoon here in Dawsonville, Georgia.
We have cracked the 50s.
So
we are at 50 degrees now, hallelujah.
Warming up a little bit, although we are at ideal temperatures for running those go-karts right now.
Oh, yeah. How fast do they go?
Well, Bill, they do about 55 miles an hour, and in the cold, it's more like 57 because those engines love a little bit of cool air We have gotten them up to 63 before, but that was taking it out on the main track. There's not quite enough straightaway there back at kart track. But you do get up over 55 miles an hour, and it is quite the experience if you've never been to the go-kart track here at Atlanta Motorsports Park.
And it is quite the challenge with all the elevation changes. We call these races as well on alternate weekends. Once a month, we'll come in and do the kart races, and that's exciting to see. But just you get the public karts out there and give it a try. It is a whole lot of fun.
And we will actually, Bill, it's a good time to lead into this announcement. We actually will go live at Kart Track next month. So anybody watching from home, if you like some high-speed karting action, tune in May for the May kart race. I don't have that date off the top of my head right now, Bill, but it should be later in the month in May. I know we're going live here at Main Track on May 8th. But we will be going live for the first time ever back at Kart Track for the May races.
If you haven't seen that, that's a lot of fun. I always look forward to coming out here and watching the karts. There's some great, young people and adults that run these karts, and they take it very seriously, and they drive rather aggressively, and it's a lot of fun to watch.
The 12 to 14-year-old juniors division
Oh,
runs the LO206 karts. That is a blast to watch. We get anywhere from 25 to 30 of them out on track, and those kids, they have no fear, and they go full send every time, and it is quite the racing to watch. So we hope to bring that all to you live and in color next month. And I think our AMP Skycam is about out of juice as we bring it in here to swap out the battery. So we will see what happens here this time by. If we're going to do 2 laps to checker, it looks like our start-finish line is only holding the green flag right now. So that to me says 2 to go, Bill. We will see as the field comes back around. You've got a better look at pit road, so
we'll see where the pace car is. That's always indicative of whether they're going to be coming to speed or not once they come down that straightaway.
Well, according to the timer, we're at 22 minutes and 30 seconds, so we are past the 20-minute mark for this sprint race. Although we spent the last 3 minutes, or I'd say about the last 5 minutes, we've been under caution the last 3 minutes of that race.
Right.
So if I had to make an educated guess, Bill, we're going to be 2 to checkered. And let's see this time by as the field is making their way around the back side of the track.
And here we come. Pace car is in, coming down to the line. Hold it down. Green is out. Green is out. Will be 2 to go this time by. Green is out. Your leader, Corey Bobo. Barry Davison comes in second. Looks to the inside. Dives to the inside of Bobo. Gets the lead briefly, but the crossover move by Corey Bobo gets back underneath. So they're side by side coming into 2, going into 3, but Bobo backs off wisely as they enter 3 and then go into 4. So this will be a battle for the last couple of laps here. Behind them is Everett Dixon. Dixon not too far behind, but look at Barry Davison going at it very aggressively going into 1, but that's the place to one of the passing points here if you've got the nerve and got the brakes where you can do that. And Davison had both as they head up over the hill and out of sight, and I believe our drone is back in position. We should be able to get an eyeball on them.
Great shots here as they're coming through turns 8, 9, and 10, Bill. As you can see them diving to the bottom of the big hill there on the back side of the track. 98 feet up to the top there through turns 12 and 13 as you see your leaders coming now diving into 13, setting up that big double sweeper or big sweeper double apex that is turn 14. And you can see Davison getting a little bit of a run there on Bobo as they come around. As you should see your leaders coming now back to the front straight.
And you're right, Corey. Barry Davison opening up a 1.7 second lead as the white flag is out. This is the last lap. Last time by if Corey Bobo has anything for him. But that's a pretty good gap that Davison was able to open.
He was almost 2 seconds faster that lap, Bill.
Yeah, Bobo would not, he had it under 123. Of course, now that was the first lap after the green flag, so they're not going to get the fastest times there, but he was, significantly slower. And it shows in the gap, the 1.7 second gap between first and second here. Third, then back to Dixon.
Well, Davison does have a little bit more experience on track, Bill, so I'm sure during that restart he was able to hit it a little bit harder than Corey Bobo. Although it's all a learning experience here, as, like I said, half this field is recent graduates of the Primal Racing School. So never an opportunity wasted, as you see your leaders coming through the backside of the track right now. Davison squarely in the lead as they go through 14. Bobo still on his tail slightly as they make their way through 14 into that Eau Rouge turn that is 15. And making the final trek down the front straightaway.
And taking the checkered flag will be Barry Davison. Corey Bobo will finish second, about 2.6 seconds behind. As we wait for Everett Dixon to come in and claim third place, and here he comes now. Checkered flag flies for Dixon, and then finally Andrew Nagy will be your fourth place finisher, and Bruneau is going to be a DNF after that misfortune in 16. Here comes Nagy down to the line, and we are done. We are complete with the race number 1 of the Downforce Series here at Atlanta Motorsports Park, weekend number 2 of the Summer Series, and I assume it's time to break for lunch, Will.
Well, we've got one more session out on track, Bill, but right now it is not filled today, so it is going to be an open session, so all members, all racers.
Excellent.
If you need to shake your car down, if you need to do any testing, anything like that, or members, if you just want to get out there and have a good time, it is an open track right now. Once we get these Downforce guys off the track, your session will be up next for group number 3, and that's going to be, well, we're going to eat a little bit into the buffer time, given that we had that recovery last race.
That is true.
But the session on paper is from 12:10 to 12:30. So once we get these guys off track, it will open back up for some open lapping. And then following that, we have our break for lunch, which is going to be from 12:30 to 1:30. I know it's the part you were waiting for me to get to, Bill. 12:30 to 1:30, and we do have that Hickory Smoke barbecue truck set up down there in the lower parts of the paddock. If you look right outside of the Porter Garage, all the racers should have gotten a meal ticket during the driver's meeting to go down there and get some barbecue. If you do not have a meal ticket, they will take cash or credit down there, so go ahead, line up, get yourself some food. And then for all you folks at home, sorry if I'm getting a little hungry talking about the barbecue we have here on site, but we are going to go on break here for a little bit. We are going to get back at it at race 2, Spec Miata, Spec 30, and race 2 Downforce. And those will get underway around